Good day everyone, and especially to you, Miss Joy. I am Shirly Galabin from Visa 1-I1, and today I will discuss the 5 out of 10 identified institutions or organization that governs the international affairs and relations. So first one in the list we have is the United Nations or the UN. The United Nations was established in 1945 after the World War II to promote peace, security, and cooperation among nations. It serves as a global platform where countries come together to discuss world problems and find solutions. The UN also helps in addressing global issues such as poverty, human rights, education, and climate change. And the UN has also 5 main organs, and each one has an important role. The first in the main organ of UN we have is the General Assembly. So the General Assembly is where all the 193 member countries are represented equally. It discusses and make recommendations on international issues like kanang peace, development, and human rights. The next one we have is the Security Council. Ang Security Council is responsible for maintaining international peace and security. It can send peacekeeping troops, apply sanctions, and authorize the use of force when necessary. It has 15 members, 5 permanent countries, and 10 temporary countries. The next one we have is the Economic and Social Council. Ang kanisya is focuses on improving living standards, promoting economic growth, and working with agencies like WHO and UNESCO to fight poverty and diseases. So we have the next one, which is the International Court of Justice, also known as the World Court. So kani siyang organ, iyang work is siya ang tig-settle sa mga legal disputes between countries and ensure that justice is served according to the international law. It is located in the Hague, Netherlands. So the next we have is the Secretariat, carry out the daily operations of the UN led by the Secretary General, who acts as the spokesperson and leader of the organization. So through these organs kay the UN continues to play a kanang big role gani in keeping the peace, promoting the justice, and improving the lives of people around the world. So the second institution is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO. So the North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO was founded in 1949 by countries in North America and Europe. It is a military alliance that ensures collective defense, meaning if one member is attacked, all others will help defend it. So NATO aims to protect the independence and security of its members and to maintain peace in the world. It also responds to new threats like terrorism and cyber attack. Aside from defense, NATO supports peacekeeping missions and humanitarian efforts to help nations recover from disasters and conflict. The third institution is the European Union or the EU. So the European Union or EU is a group of European countries that work together to keep peace, promote democracy, and strengthen their economies. It was built to unite Europe after many years of war. The EU allows countries to trade freely with each other, making it easier for people, goods, and services to move across borders. It also has its own currency, the euro. which helps make trading and traveling easier among member nations. The EU's goal is to ensure prosperity, unity, and peace across Europe. The fourth one is the World Trade Organization or WTO. So the World Trade Organization was formed in 1995 to manage and guide global trade, and it ensures that trade between countries is fair, open, and stable. The WTO helps reduce taxes or barriers that make trading difficult and settles trade disputes between nations. It also supports developing countries by helping them join the global market. The organization's main goal is to promote fair competition, economic growth, and cooperation among nations through international trade. For the fifth institution, we have the International Monetary Fund or the IMF. The International Monetary Fund or IMF was established to promote financial stability and help countries that are struggling with their economies. It gives loans, financial support, and expert advice to nations in crisis. The IMF also keeps track of the global economy to prevent financial problems from spreading by guiding countries on how to manage their money and economy. The IMF helps maintain balance and growth worldwide. Its goal is to make sure that all countries can recover from economic challenges and build stronger financial systems.
So hi, good day everyone. My name is Maris B. Generalao and I'm from DZ 1-I1. So today I'm going to discuss about the five remaining institutions which are the World Bank, African Union, Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN, and Organization of American States, and the last one which is the International Criminal Court. So now, let's talk about the first one, which is the World Bank. So what is World Bank DI? So World Bank is an international financial institution that provides loans to countries of the world for their capital projects. And then the World Bank is like a bank for countries. It gives loan to countries to help them build things like roads, schools, and hospitals. The World Bank established during the Bretton Woods Conference in 1944. So, ang World Bank kuno kay was created after the World War II is to help rebuild the world economy. So, ang main role sa World Bank is to provide financial and technical assistance to developing countries. And then World Bank focuses in poverty reduction, infrastructures development, and the social program. So, first one is the poverty reduction. So, ang World Bank is to aim to lift people out of poverty through economic growth and improved services. And then sa infrastructures development is to World Bank funds project like roads, electricities, and sanitation. So the last one is the social programs which World Bank supports access to education, healthcare, and clean water. So the second one is the African Union or AU. So what is African Union? So African Union is to promote unity and solidarity of African states, to spur economic development, and to promote international cooperation. So, African Union kay daghan ni siya membership which is composed of 55 African countries. And then iyahang African Union primary goals is to promote the unity and solidarity among African states. Then ang African Union encourage peace, security, and political stability. Then African Union kuno is nag-advocate for democracy, human rights, and sustainable developments. So, the third one, which is the Association of Southeast Asian Nation or ASEANs. So, what is ASEAN? So, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, which is ASEAN, is a regional intergovernmental organization na established on August 8, 1967. So, ASEAN is to promote peace, stability, and economic growth in whole Southeast Asia. Then, it compromises 10 members countries which are the Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, Brunei, Vietnam, Laos, Myanmar, and the Cambodia. So, ang ASEANs kuno is nag-aim to enhance regional cooperation in areas such as sa trades, securities, education, culture, and disaster response. So, the ASEAN's key initiatives kay nag-include include the ASEAN's Free Trade Area or AFTA, and the ASEAN's is Asian Community, which fosters deeper integration among member states. So overall, ASEAN's kay nagplay og vital role in maintaining regional stability and driving economic progression in Southeast Asia. So the fourth one, which is the Organization of American States or OAS. So Organization of American States is a regional organization established to promote democracy, human rights, security, and development across the Americas. So, ang Organization of American States kay founded on April 30, 1948. So, ang Organization of American States is ilahang objective is to strengthen peace and security in the region and also to promote and defend democracy. And then Organization of American States is they ensure respect for human rights. And then OAS is they foster economic, social, and cultural development. Then ang OAS sad is sila nag-support sa sustainable development and cooperation among the member state. So, the OAS is nagplay og a central role in conflict resolution, election monitoring, and democratic governance in the Western Hemisphere. Then, it also work with civil society and international organization to address regional challenges. So, the last one is the International Criminal Court or ICC. So, unsa di ay ang International Criminal Court? So, it is a permanent international court na established ni siya is to prosecute individuals for their most serious crimes, which are the genocide, crimes against humanities, war crimes, and the crimes of aggression. And then the International Criminal Court kay na-establish on July 1, 2002. So, ang ICC kay naa 124 countries nga mga membership. Then, naasad sila mga members nga walay labot, which is the United States, China, and then the India and the Russia. So, ang main objective sa ICC is to end impunity for perpetrators of the gravest crimes. Then, nag-hold sila individuals or not state accountable under their international law. So ICC is nag-promote sila international justice and the rule of law. So the ICC operates independently of the United Nations but cooperates closely with it. It plays a critical role in advancing justice, especially in the post-conflict situations. To it faces criticisms over political bias and enforcement limitations. So, I hope everyone na may nasabtan sa akong discussion. Then, thank you for listening. Have a good day. God bless. Thank you.
So, good day everyone. Now we're gonna tackle about internationalism. So, what is internationalism? So, internationalism means kanang the cooperation between nations. Like kanang magtinabangay ang nations para silahang common goals like peace and development. This is also shows kanang respect for each nation's independence. Meaning, bisang magtinabangay sila, dili nila kontrolon ang usag-usa. Kumbaga, there's a boundaries gihapon inana. Ang best example aning kuan internationalism no kay ang United Nation. So ang United Nation kay grupo na siya sa mga nation nga nagkahiusa gali para magtinabangay para sa ilahang peace, human rights, or kanang pagtabang sa mga developing countries. Like, ang sample na, kung naay war or natural disaster ang usa ka nation, ang United Nation kay muhatag nag-aid, relief goods, or like mga forces, nga na. So, mao na ang United Nation kay usa ay kanang clear example na siya sa internationalism ba kay nagpakita man siya cooperation and respect sa independence sa tanang member sa countries. So, ang internationalism kay naa na siya positive ug negative effects sa atoa. Which is first, let's tackle about sa positive effect. Daghan nag-positive effect pero tulo lang gid akong gihatag. Which is ang first kay katong respect independence. Di ba niyon ko ganiha nga ang internationalism kay bisag magtinabangay na sila kay mo respect gyapon sila and napagyapoy boundaries sa bisa-bisa. Which is kanang more specific sa kanang decision or like kanang sa kanang culture sa other nations ingana. Next, kay nag-promote po na siya peace and diplomacy. Which is nga, imbis sa gubat nila ipamaagi, magkuan na lang sila mag-steer anay o mag-negotiate to solve the problem. And lastly, ang gihatag nga kuan, positive effect kay ang encourage cooperation. Tungod sa internationalism, ang countries kay kanaging maka-work together na gali to solve global issues like climate change, poverty, or health problems. So, mo na siya ang kanang tulo na kong gihatag nga positive effects sa internationalism. And aside sa positive effect, actually, naaman ginay ka ng negative effect sa gyud. So, naghatag sa kong tulo ka negative effect. Which is ang first kay ang unequal power. So, no, sa papel kay equal tanan, ang mga nations equal ra gina. Pero if magtanaw gid ta sa real world kay ang mga big nations like USA or China kay nagina sila mas dakong power or like influence kaysa sa mga small nations. So usahay sila maka-decide kung unsay dapat lang buhaton gali. Like example, ang United Nations na sila kanang Security Council nga mas dako og authority kaysa sa ubang countries. Mao nga murag dili napantay bisan nga idea sa internationalism kay dapat gali equal gyud mao na ka negative effect ko na ang unequal power sa internationalism. And second nung gihatag kay ang conflict of interest. So dili tanang nasod kay pareha gali og wants. Ang uban gusto og peace nya, ang uban kay gusto og economic advantages. So kung magtinabangay sila usahay ilahang interest kay magkabangga gali like magka-conflict gyud. Like example na, kung mag-talk about climate change, ang rich countries kay gusto na kanagaling tawagan ni madaw na gali ang kanang climate change like kanang mo low na ba basta kanang mo low na siya. Well, ang ubang countries kay gusto kuan walang kanang mga poor countries kay gusto nila nga ma-develop paghihapon sila inana. So mo nang ang kuan usahay kay maglalisay na sila which is maka-conflict gid sa kanang interest. And last nang gihata ang race of independency kay ang ubang nation magsaliga sa tabang sa laing nation or like sa organization like United Nation or World Bank. So kana gali mawalan sila ka ng mga independent na bisag ang ilang purpose sa bisag ang purpose sa mounta gid sa internationalism kay to respect independence mounta niya kay tungod lagi tungod silang pagka-dependent sa kanang nation or like kanang organization mawala ang kanang purpose sa internationalism. So in conclusion, internationalism helps make the world more connected and peaceful. Pero dapat naagihapon ang balance ug respect sa independence sa each nation. So, more gina ang internationalism. Makipag is a cooperation between is a cooperation of nations but still there's a boundaries na.
Thank you for that, Miss Abigail. And since everyone knows what internationalism is, so let's move forward to what is globalism. So, globalism is an ideology or belief that the movement of people, goods, services, and information should be allowed to flow freely across national borders. So, this means that globalism is the idea that the world should be more connected with fewer restrictions between countries when it comes to the movement of people, goods, services, and information. So think of it like this. Imagine the world as a big, interconnected network where countries, instead of being isolated or closed off from each other, are linked in a way that allows for easier communication, trade, travel, and sharing of knowledge. This idea believes that if things move freely across borders, it benefits everyone, countries, the economies, and the people. So, for the people, globalism encourages people to move easily across countries, whether for work, education, or even just to visit. This includes things like immigration, tourism, or international business travel. And next one is the goods. Goods like products like food or technology should be allowed to flow freely from one country to another. So, globalism supports reducing trade barriers like tariffs or customs rules to make it easier and cheaper for countries to trade with each other. And for the services naman, services things like banking, healthcare, or even entertainment like Netflix should be accessible for across borders. So for example, in a company in one country might offer its services to people in another. So which helps create a more interconnected global economy. And the last one, the information. The information means that globalism also encourages the free flow of ideas and knowledge. This could mean things like easy access to the internet, educational resources, scientific research, or media, all of which can spread quickly across countries and cultures. When we say globalism believes countries should be more open and connected, it means that globalism supports the idea of countries working together and removing unnecessary barriers so that the world operates more like a single, large community where goods, services, and people can interact easily. This is the core belief of globalism, making it easier for everyone to collaborate, trade, travel, and learn from one another, no matter what they are in the world. Next is another aspect of globalism is its strong focus on economic changes among countries and societies. So kung atong sabton, ang globalism dili lang kutob sa paglihok sa tawo ug impormasyon pero mas gi-emphasize gyud niya ang bahin sa ekonomiya. Apil ani ang pagpamaligya ug pamalit sa produkto. negosyo nga nag-invest sa lain-laing nasod ug paglihok sa kwarta sa tibuok kalibutan. And pasabot ani kung adunay mahitabo sa usa ka nasod, pananglitan, crisis or pag-asenso, maapektuhan pod ang uban nga nasod kay konektado man ang ekonomiya sa kalibutan. So, what's the main focus sa globalism? So, when we talk about globalism, its primary concern is the economic aspect of exchanges among countries and society. So, ang pinaka-focus ani kay ang negosyo, trade, ang pagbalhin-balhin sa kwarta ug ang investment between nation. Think about how multinational companies operate or how goods manufactured in one country are sold all over the world. So mao na ang spirit sa globalism. Ang economic integration and drive dili lang sa Pilipinas but worldwide. This is what Sergeant emphasized in his 2008 work. So, to make you more understand about this topic, here's the other meaning of globalism. So, globalism is about worldwide networks connecting people and countries, meaning mas dali na ta makikonnect sa laing-laing nasod through internet, trade, and even culture. It allows free flow of goods, information, and culture across border. Mao sa to kung gingon ganiha. So, ang example ana kay 'di ba ang K-pop gikan man na sa Korea, then pero sikat na kaayo diri sa Pilipinas, mao na one of the example aning sa globalism. Panapong about sa food, ang nisikat pud sad ang kaning samgyup nga gikan pud sa Korea, daghan na kay mga Pilipino nga ganahan og samgyup. So, next sad ana, globalism also focuses on interconnectedness and interdependence, meaning we rely each other as one big global community, pero sometimes it prioritizes global interests more than national borders. So, when we say that globalism prioritizes global interests more than national borders, we mean that sometimes the need of the world as a whole are seen as more important than the interests of any one country. For example, sa climate change, the effects of global warming don't respect borders. A country may choose to adopt policies that benefit the planet, even if it means some sacrifices at the national level. And another example for the trade agreements, globalism can encourage international trade deals that benefit the world economy, but might put pressure on smaller economies or challenge the interests of certain national industries. And for the human rights and public health, issues like poverty or health crises like pandemics may lead global organizations to push for solutions that help everyone, even if a particular country's government has different priorities. So mao jud na ang globalism. So, in essence, globalism can sometimes ask nations to consider the greater good of all people and the world before focusing solely on their own borders, economies, and or political systems. And globalism, instead of thinking about one country, the goal is to think about the whole world. From the world global, mao na siya whole world. Globalism has a positive and negative effect. So, ari sa ta sa positive effect sa globalism. So, ang positive effect sa globalism kay una, unity of humanity. So, globalism nagtabang na magkahiusa ang mga tao bisan lain tag nasod, sinultian or mga culture. Murag usa ra gud ta ka pamilya sa kalibutan kay nagkonekta ta tanan, mao na ang positive effect sa globalism, unity of humanity, magkahiusa from the it means yun kanang mao na ang unity. So maskin pa layo ang lugar o dili ta same ninyo, we are connected. So ang ikaduha pod sa solves global problems. Daghan kaayo problema nga dili kaya sa usa ka nasod, like sa Philippines dili jud dato kaya, di ba, nga kita ra jud like need sa gyapon natong tabang sa lain country. So mao ni siya, it solves global problems sama sad sa climate change, pandemic o sa mga pollution. Tungod sa globalism, ang mga nasod nagtinabangay, nagbinaliluay og mga resources ug mangitag solusyon para sa tanan. Ang ikatulo pud nga positive effect sa globalism mao ang faster exchange of ideas and culture. So tungod sa globalism, paspas na kaayo ang pagbinayluay sa impormasyon og mga culture nato, di ba? And maka-learn dayon ta og new tungod sa new technology, mga kuan ron nga na-adapt gikan sad sa lain nasod, makaila ta sa ilang mga tradisyon, maka-share pud ta sa ato, mas open-minded na ganit tungod ani, and knowledgeable na ang tawo kay kita nagka-connect sa usa. So in short, globalism helps unite as one, work together to solve big problems, and share knowledge and culture faster. And since naaman tay positive effects sa globalism, naapod tay negative effect. So, ang negative effect sa globalism kay una, loss of identity. So, tungod sad sa pagkalohalo sa kultura sa kalibutan, usahay mawala na ang kaugalingon nga tradisyon or culture kay sa usa ka nasod. Murag malubong na ganita sa mas kusog nga kultura gikan sa gawas, kay murag nalimtan na lang nato nga naa sa daytay atoa. Mao na ang isa pud sa negative nga effect sa globalism. And ikaduha, benefits the rich more. So mas daghan og benefits ang mga dato nga nasod ug dagkog kompanya, kay mas mudato sad sila, pero ang mga pobre nga nasod nga og mga ordinaryo nga tawo maglisod kay dili sad sila kaapas. So like kung kinsa pa tong dato na, mas musaka pa sila niya, ang kaning mga naara sad sa ubos mupaubos pud sila maayo, or like ang mga nagay sa ubos like maglisod lang jud, pero kinahinayan lang sad nila kung saon sad nila pagsaka. So, ang ikatulo, it weakens national sovereignty. So, tungod sa globalism, usahay dili na kaayo independent ang usa ka nasod. Kinahanglan na sila musunod sa international rules ug agreements, bisan kung usahay dili bagay sa ilang lokal nga policy. Mao sad na nakaapan jud. Mao na negative effects sa globalism. So, in short, globalism also had a bad effects like losing identity, favoring the rich, and making countries less independent. So in summary, both internationalism and globalism aim to create a more connected world, but they do so in different ways. So internationalism is about cooperation between independent countries. It encourages nations to work together on common goals like peace, development, and diplomacy, while still respecting each country's independence and sovereignty. And for the globalism, on the other hand, pushes a world where border matter less, and people, goods, services, and information can move freely. It focuses on global integration and often prioritizes what's best for the world as a whole, sometimes over individual national interests. So understanding the difference help us see how the world is shaped by both cooperation between nations and the increasing interconnections of global system. Both play key roles in addressing global challenges and shaping our future. And that's all. I hope you have learned something in our topic. Thank you.